happy little cheesy poofs are fun, delicious, and nearly impossible to stop eating once you get started. I'm making these delightful little Gougeres that everyone's gonna love. So let's get started. Let's take a look at the ingredients, and I'm going to start with 1 1/4 cups or 150 grams of all-purpose flour. I've got 4 large eggs, 1 cup, which is 237 milliliters of water, 6 tablespoons or 85 grams of butter. I'll use a little bit of fresh grated nutmeg, and I've got 6 ounces or 1 1/2 cups, which is 150 grams of grated cheese. And you can use your favorite cheese here. Gruyere is a really common choice, but this is cheddar country, so I'm using extra sharp cheddar here today. Apart from these, I'll add in a big pinch of salt and a little bit of cayenne or black pepper. Let's get this started. I'm melting the butter. I've cut it into some smaller chunks so it'll melt a little quicker. Now once that butter is well on its way to being melted, I'll throw in the water. Big old pinch of salt, that's about a teaspoon. I'll grate in the nutmeg, and it's just a little bit, maybe around 1/4 teaspoon. It's just a little accent. Now we want to get this up to a boil over pretty high heat so we can get it to boil quickly and not lose a bunch of that water to evaporation. There we go. Now, once we get that boiling, I'll go in with all the flour, and I'll take that off of the heat to mix the flour in. Now once it's all mixed together and it starts to come together and be a ball like that, we're gonna go right back onto that heat. Again, kind of medium-high heat, and just keep working this, keep stirring it. We wanna cook that flour a little bit. You'll see it start to stick and coat the bottom like that. That's what we're looking for. We're getting a real nice coating going on the bottom. You certainly don't want that to burn or even color, so we're done there. Now we'll take this off the heat again, let that cool down for a couple of minutes before I go in with the eggs. You can do this all right in the pan, but I'm gonna go ahead and put it in this mixing bowl. I'm gonna let this cool down for a few minutes, just so it gets cool enough that it doesn't cook the eggs when I put them in there. If I go in too early with those eggs and this is too hot, it's going to kind of scramble them and make this into some kind of strange quiche-like substance that's not going to be any good, and nobody's going to love it. Now it's cool enough to start adding the eggs, and I've blended mine together just a little bit, but you can just put in 1 egg at a time if you want. But you don't want to go in all at once, so just get a little, mix it all in. Once you get that egg mixed in, add a little bit more. You could use a stand mixer for this, or an electric mixer for this, but you really don't need it. Just get in there and do the work. A little more egg. It always comes apart into these kind of slippery looking chunks. That's the thing about the choux pastry, is right when you think it's not working, it magically comes together and just turns smooth and creamy kind of all at once. And now I'll go in with just that dash of cayenne pepper. Just a tiny bit, I'm not making this hot. And the cheese. We'll get that all mixed together. Don't look for that cheese to melt here. It's gonna be kind of grainy in there, and that's how it should be. We'll get our oven preheated to 400 degrees and get these guys in there. Now I've got a baking sheet and a silpat here. Of course, you could use parchment. And I'm gonna pipe this into some kind of 1.5 inch little blobs here. Now I'm gonna take a damp fingers and just kind of push down the little points that are right on top of those, because those will burn. Now you could hit these with a little bit of egg wash to make them nice and shiny, but I'm just going to sprinkle a little bit more cheese right on the top of each one. Just a little pinch. Now these go into the 400-degree oven for 20 to 25 minutes until they get nice and puffy and golden and kind of have a hollow sound if you tap on them a little bit. Oh yeah! Sounds good. Now the hard part is letting those cool down a little bit before I dig in. These have cooled down just a little bit. They're still slightly warm, which is the perfect time to eat them. So let's see how we did. Check out that bite. Oh yeah. Crispy and cheesy. And just look at that puff. Oh man, these things are absolutely fantastic, just like this. Now let's have a little fun with them.